Hello everyone, my name is EVOO and welcome to Cooking with the Koyas. Today we're going to make another one of those delicious Italian dishes. Pasta with sausage and rapini. That's the classic mix. Sausage and rapini go together like bread and butter. Makes for a great dish, and as an added flavor enhancer, I'm going to use some bell peppers as well. I'm going to share my recipe with you right now. Let's get started. So one of the best ways to save time is, well, let's get our water going. Get the water going right away, and now let's prep our ingredients. So here I have 2 bell peppers that I have already washed. So quite simply, cut them in half, remove the core and the seeds. Okay, so you cut them in half lengthwise, and then cut them in half widthwise, and then from there, cut them in about 1-inch pieces. So we're gonna make a penne pasta, so you want them, to be about as thick as the penne. So there we go, we're gonna cut them up like that. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same with that other bell pepper. Decore. And de-seed. Cut in half widthwise, and away we go. Okay, we'll get our last one done here. Nice bite-sized pieces of pepper. This is gonna add what I call enhance. This is gonna enhance the flavor very, very nicely on this particular dish. Okay, so our peppers are done, ready to go. Now we gotta take care of our rapini. Now for those of you tuning in for the first time, I also have a video showing how to actually cook rapini if you just want to have it as a side dish. But today, we're going to actually be using it in our pasta. So, as I mentioned, we're going to make penne, which are, short. You want your peppers to be short. You also want your rapini to be short. Right now, we're a bit long. So, take your rapini and cut it into penne size pieces, okay? So I'm gonna say about, 2 to 3 inches. So I'll cut another one here. Okay, and it goes. Now these are tough. Now what you could do here, I'm gonna show you. I could probably take a little bit more from here, maybe 1 inch. Okay, and we're gonna add that. But these stems are very, very tough. Now, what you could do is keep these aside and use them for a soup base. However, if you have time, I said this recipe can be done in under an hour, but if you have time, you can actually peel. I remember my father doing this, just peeling the outside skin, let's call it. Take that outside layer off, and inside, you have a very, very tender piece of rapini, also known as broccoli rapi. So it's the same thing, but that is very tender, so that can go in. So you have a choice. You could take your time. If you have time, peel and use them. If not, put them aside, save them for soup stock. Okay, let's go to the stove. Oh, hang on, we can't go to the stove yet. I like to wash my rapini right in a lettuce spinner. It's very, very convenient. I wash it in here, drain it, and then spin it dry. Very, very convenient. So let me get these washed up, and then we'll make our way over to the stove. I actually washed the rapini twice, and then I spun it dry. So let's get started here now. Our pasta water is still going there, waiting for a boil. So again, while we're waiting for the water to boil, let's prepare our sauce. So extra virgin olive oil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tablespoons. Okay, 5 tablespoons extra virgin olive oil. And what I have here, we have 1 clove of garlic. 1 clove of garlic that I have minced. And we're going to add that to our olive oil. Basically, we want to just saute this garlic quickly, just 30 seconds, just to get our olive oil nicely flavored. So we have a nice little sizzle going there with our garlic. Time to add our peppers. We're going to add these first because they take a little longer to cook than the rapini does. So I like to get the peppers started. We're going to cook that on medium. We're going to just cook these on medium, and once they soften up a little bit, then we can add our rapini. So we're just going to get these tossed up in that beautiful extra virgin olive oil with your garlic, and cook these down a little bit, soften them up just a bit. Now, also, in the meanwhile, while that's cooking, we can actually start to prepare our sausage. So, again, extra virgin olive oil. Now, we are not going to make a tomato-based sauce today. So, because we're not making a tomato-based sauce, we're going to use a little bit of we're going to use more extra virgin olive oil than we normally would, because that's the base of our sauce. So basically you want about a half a cup, which is a good 8 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to go with 9, just for good measure. Now, if you feel the sauce is too dry, you could always add a little bit more. Play it by ear, because the sausage is also going to release some juices. Speaking of sausage, so let's bring that up to heat. Start to warm up that extra virgin olive oil. So here I have 300 grams of sausage. This is pork sausage that I made myself. And what I did was I removed it from the casing, okay? And that's what you want to do. You want to remove your sausage from the casing, and then we're going to break it up into small little pieces, bite-sized pieces, to go with our bite-sized theme. Okay? So, again, this comes together real easy and quickly. So, I'm just going to break this apart, and I'm going to cook it on low. We're just going to let that start to saute up as we prepare our peppers and rapini. Our 300 grams of sausage has been broken up nicely and is just on medium heat. We're just going to slowly saute that. And in case you're wondering, 300 grams is about 10 ounces, okay, of sausage meat. So we're going to actually cook 300 grams of pasta, which is why we went with 300 grams of sausage meat. Okay, so that is going to slowly cook. Our peppers are continuing to fry up. They're still firm. We got to soften them up a bit before we add our rapini. And our water has not come to a boil yet. So things are happening, folks. Okay, and this is the thing. When you're in the kitchen, you know what? It's not work. It's all fun. And the aromas you're creating and the dish you're creating, very worthwhile. It's always a great place to be in the kitchen. Okay, so let's continue cooking these. And while I do that, give this a stir once in a while. There we go. Multitasking, folks, multitasking. So our pasta water is now boiled and ready to go. So we're going to add our salt. It's always best to add your salt after the water has come to a boil. Otherwise, it'll settle in the bottom of your pan, it won't dissolve, and it'll stain the bottom of your pot. So I like to wait until the water is boiled, and then slowly add a bit, and then add some more. Okay, so I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of salt. You want this to be, as they say, salty like the ocean. So 3/4 of a tablespoon for every liter of water. Okay, so our water's been salted. Our sauce is not really ready yet, so I could start cooking the pasta now. Pasta's going to take 12 minutes. This will probably be done in 12 minutes. In fact, let's do that. So here I have 300 grams of penne, and I went with the Reggiano, the one with the ridges, to help hold the olive oil in the sauce a little bit better. 300 grams, in it goes. It's amazing to think that little bit of pasta can feed 3 people, but it can. Okay, so package says 10 minutes to al dente, 12 minutes till cooked. So I'm going to let it go the full 12 minutes. And you start counting when it comes back to a boil. I don't start my timer going yet. I bring it back to a boil, then I start the timer going. Okay, our pepper is looking really good. And our water is now come back to a boil over there. So I'm going to get my timer started right now. Let's give it a stir so nothing sticks. Okay. And I'm going to start my 12-minute timer going. So with our pasta cooking, Our sausage has been slowly sauteing here in that beautiful olive oil. Look at the flavors we're developing in here coming from that sausage. Oh my goodness. Folks, I'm telling you, this is going to be one delicious dish. Okay. So we're going to let that continue to slowly cook. Now, to our peppers, we're going to add our rapini, or otherwise known as broccoli rapi, as I mentioned. And the reason I spun it dry, you hear that sizzling, that is of course because the rapini is still a little bit wet, and anytime you add, you put water and oil together, that's what happens. Okay, whoops. All right, so now I'm going to keep that and saute these all up together. And what will happen is the rapini is going to actually absorb that olive oil, most of it. So all I'm going to do here is just continue to mix this around, get all those flavors incorporated together, and cook that rapini down. As you can see, our rapini is cooking down very, very nicely, sauteed up beautifully. And now at this point, this is when you're going to want to add salt to taste. Okay? So depending on how much salt you like, this is the time you would add it. Now we are not adding any salt to the sausage, that's already pre-seasoned. So just a little bit of salt to our veggies, and we're good to go. So this is basically done. We still have about 7 minutes left on our timer, so I'm just going to drop that down to simmer just to keep this warm. Okay, we're going to keep that warm, and meanwhile our sausage is also done, and we're just going to continue to keep that warm as well. And be careful that our pasta water doesn't boil over. Okay, there's just about a minute left on our timer, but what I wanted to show you here, folks, was as you can see, there's some residual olive oil left here, but not a lot. Most of it has been absorbed into the rapini and the peppers, as I had mentioned earlier. So this is going to be extremely, extremely flavorful right there. Okay, timer's up. Let's give a taste to our penne. Perfecto. So in case you're wondering, al dente just means when you bite in, it's a little bit soft, and then just towards the end, you feel a little bit of firmness. That's al dente. When it's cooked all the way through, you don't have that little touch of firmness. Okay, so that can go off. Pasta's done. Sausage can go off. Let's just slide it over. A little bit of pasta water goes in there. That's perfectly fine as well. In fact, you could always add a little bit of pasta water if you want. Okay. Depending on how thick the sauce is. So remember all that olive oil we put in, which you might have thought, you know, that's an awful lot of olive oil. It's not really. In fact, you can look at already, most of it is clinging on to that penne rigate. So right now I'm tossing it all up, getting all that beautiful flavor from the sausage and the olive oil tossed in there together. And now, folks, let's turn that off. More beautiful flavor coming our way with the rapini and the peppers. Now, most people just use rapini. I like to add the peppers. As I mentioned, it's a beautiful flavor enhancer. And another thing a lot of people do is they like to boil the rapini first. But I don't like to do that. I like to just saute it. I keep all the freshness and all the benefit of the vitamins and minerals that are in the rapini. I keep it all in the dish. I don't boil any of it away. And some people think it might be a little bit bitter. You know what? It's not that bitter. It cooks up perfectly fine. And with the added peppers here, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. And on top of everything else, you can see here, it's a very, very colorful dish. Now I have a little bit of residual. If you take a look here, you can see there's a little bit of olive oil, not much. So I'm going to say we have just the right amount of olive oil. Now, optional, if you want, Could also added some tomatoes in here, but we're gonna keep this as a white pasta today. I've got a nice big pasta bowl right here. Put that off the heat. Let's get this plated. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. In fact, you see that little bit of olive oil there? You want to make sure you get all of it. I'm going to get a spatula. I want every ounce of that flavor in that dish. So with a spatula, okay, there's not much there, but it's worth it. Okay, there we have it. Oh my goodness, folks. Take a look at this gorgeous, gorgeous dish right here. Take a look at that. That is full of flavor, healthy, and delicious. I don't think it gets any better than that. Speaking of delicious, let's give it the taste test right now. As you know, folks, my favorite part, the taste test. Okay, so I'm gonna plate some here, grab from the bottom. Always grab from the bottom. Get those juices from the bottom. Oh, look at there. Oh my goodness, folks. A little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano grated cheese. If you don't have Parmigiano Reggiano, you could grate some Grana Padano or some Pecorino Romano. Is also excellent with this dish. But folks, the taste test right there. You could also, if you like a little heat, put a little bit of chilies in there. But in my case, my sausage was hot sausage, so it's already going to be spiced very, very nicely. So I like to grab a little bit of the sausage, the rapini, and the pepper at the same time. There's a reason why this is one of those delicious Italian dishes. If you like rapini and you like sausage and peppers, this dish is dynamite. And it's an all-in-one meal. You have protein from the meat, you have the carbs from the pasta, and you have your vegetables all in one dish. Does it get any better than that? I don't think so. I really hope you get an opportunity to try this recipe. That's what makes me happy, folks. When people try my recipes, put them together, and enjoy them, really makes my day. I want to thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Cooking with the Koyas, and until next time, buon appetito. Full of flavor.